The galaxy had rules, ancient rules that had lasted for thousands of cycles. Among them, one was spoken quietly in the corridors of power, repeated by elders in secret, and feared in the hearts of even the bravest aliens. Never provoke humans. It was not because humans were the strongest, nor the most numerous, nor even the most technologically advanced. It was because humans had something no other species truly understood: unpredictability. Where aliens relied on logic, humans relied on instinct and courage. Where aliens calculated risk, humans found opportunity. That unpredictability made them dangerous and worthy of respect. Captain Ilara Voss of the human starship Resolute stared out of the viewport, watching the pale blue glow of the planet Zetherian. Her crew moved silently around the bridge, the hum of the ship's engines blending with the low chatter of officers reporting status updates. Today was the day of the Zetherian Council, a gathering of alien species from all corners of the galaxy. Their purpose was simple: diplomacy. Their hope was fragile. Ilara's heart was steady. She had trained for this moment her entire life. Humans were still new to galactic politics, and most aliens considered them insignificant. But she knew better. Humanity was underestimated, and that underestimation could be used as a weapon. "Captain," said Lieutenant Rin, the ship's communications officer, "we are approaching Zetherian orbit. Council representatives are waiting." Ilara nodded. "Prepare the diplomatic protocols, and remember, stay calm. We represent more than just humans. We represent every colony that looks to us for protection." The Zetherian Council Hall was a magnificent structure floating in orbit, its spires of crystal reflecting the light of the nearby star. Inside, the representatives from dozens of alien species gathered. Each species carried its own pride, its own history, and its own arrogance. But all eyes eventually turned to the humans as they entered. Humans were few in number, but their presence was undeniable. Captain Ilara, standing tall and confident in her formal uniform, carried herself with quiet authority. Her crew followed her, disciplined and alert. To the untrained eye, humans seemed ordinary. But in that room, every alien felt a subtle tension, as if the air itself whispered, "Do not underestimate them." Krylox, a noble from the planet Vexar, was the first to break the silence. His voice was sharp, dripping with condescension. "Ah, humans," he sneered, his eyes scanning the delegation as if they were pests. "The new children of the galaxy. Tell me, Captain, how does it feel to walk among creatures far wiser than you?" Ilara remained calm. She had expected this. Many aliens considered humans primitive, clumsy, and undisciplined. But humans had a history of survival against impossible odds, and Ilara had no intention of giving Krylox satisfaction. "We are here to discuss peace, not insults," she said evenly. Her voice carried the authority of someone who had seen far more than her age suggested. "We represent our colonies and our people. We seek cooperation, not conflict." Krylox laughed, a harsh metallic sound that echoed through the hall. "Cooperation? With humans? The galaxy has long tolerated your existence, but know this: tolerance has limits. Step out of line, and there will be consequences." A murmur spread among the council members. Some nodded in agreement, clearly sharing Krylox's disdain. Others looked uneasy, sensing that the humans might be more dangerous than they appeared. Ilara did not flinch. "We do not seek confrontation," she said. "But humans have endured far worse than insults, and we will not be threatened lightly." For a moment, the room fell silent. Then Krylox's eyes narrowed, his posture stiffening with anger. "Lightly? You dare speak to me in this tone? Humans! You forget your place." Before Ilara could respond, an alarm sounded across the hall. Screens flickered, showing a nearby human settlement under attack. The images were shocking. Alien warships firing upon defenseless civilians. The attack was sudden, calculated to provoke a reaction. Ilara's jaw tightened. Her crew moved instinctively, readying defenses and communication channels. But she raised her hand, signaling calm. Humans were not reckless. They would respond, but with strategy, not panic. The council members watched closely, waiting to see how humans would react. Many expected chaos, anger, or revenge, but Ilara chose a different path. "Prepare the peacekeepers," she instructed her officers. "We will protect our people, but we will not escalate unnecessarily. Let us show them the value of discipline and intelligence." In the settlement, human defenders activated automated shields and strategically positioned anti-ship systems. Alien attackers were taken aback as humans used clever maneuvers, feints, and unorthodox tactics to neutralize the assault. Within hours, the attack was repelled, and the settlement remained intact. Back in the council hall, whispers spread like wildfire. Humans had defended themselves without unnecessary destruction. Their tactics were smart, precise, and unpredictable. Even Krylox looked uneasy, though he would not admit it. Ilara stepped forward. "This demonstration is not meant to intimidate," she said. "It is meant to remind all who watch. Humans will defend what is theirs, and humans act with fairness, even when threatened." A representative from the planet Mirth, an ancient species known for wisdom and caution, leaned forward. "Captain Voss, you handle your people with a rare balance of strength and diplomacy. The council should take note. Humans are not what we assumed." Krylox's anger simmered beneath the surface. He had planned to humiliate humans publicly, to remind the galaxy of their supposed inferiority. Instead, humans had turned the moment into a display of control, intelligence, and courage. Ilara's gaze met Krylox's. She did not speak, but her expression carried a quiet warning. "Underestimate us at your own peril." The council meeting continued, but the mood had shifted. Aliens who had once dismissed humans began to watch them with cautious respect. Humans were not just survivors, they were innovators, strategists, and above all, unpredictable. As the meeting ended, Ilara returned to her ship. She allowed herself a brief moment of relief, knowing that this was only the beginning. Krylox would not forgive easily. The galaxy was vast, full of ambitious and arrogant leaders, and many would seek to challenge humanity. But humans had something no one else possessed: unity, courage, and a willingness to take risks for what was right. And that, Ilara knew, was more powerful than any weapon. "Captain," Rin said quietly as the crew prepared to depart, "the council may be watching, but I think they are starting to understand something about us." Ilara nodded. "Let them watch. Let them wonder. Humans are not easy to predict, and that is our greatest strength. One day, every species in this galaxy will learn the same lesson. The rule is simple yet eternal: never anger the humans." As the Resolute slipped out of Zetharian orbit and into the endless stretch of stars, Ilara allowed herself a small smile. The first move had been made. The galaxy had begun to realize that humans were not to be trifled with, and the true story of humanity's rise was only beginning. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, filled with unknown dangers, uncharted worlds, and ambitious adversaries. But humans had survived impossible odds before, and they would do so again. Captain Ilara Voss glanced at her crew, feeling a surge of pride. Together, they would face whatever came next. The galaxy might underestimate humans now, but that mistake would soon be remembered for generations. And somewhere, far across the council chambers, Krylox seethed in quiet rage, already plotting his next move. He would learn, sooner or later, that humans were not to be mocked. The ancient rule was not a legend, it was a warning. The warning that no one could ignore, Don't anger the humans. The galaxy had begun to notice humans. Quietly at first, then with whispers that traveled across star systems. Humans were unpredictable. Humans were clever. And humans could not be underestimated. Captain Ilara Voss sat in the command chair of the Resolute, her eyes scanning the holographic map of the nearby sector. The attack on the Zytherian settlement had been just the first test, and humans had passed with precision, skill, and unexpected strategy. But Krylox's threats lingered like a shadow. "We can't assume he will stop," Lieutenant Rin said, studying the map. "Krylox is arrogant. He'll plan something bigger." Ilara nodded. "Of course. That's why we're not waiting for him to act. We'll move first, carefully, smartly. Humans do not react blindly. We plan, anticipate, and adapt." Their first stop was Orvax Prime, a human colony near the edge of Zytherian space. There, Ilara and her team assessed the damage, coordinated defenses, and reinforced the colony's automated shield systems. The humans who lived there had grown tough, self-reliant, and resourceful. They had endured years of attacks from pirates and hostile aliens. Yet, they welcomed the Resolute crew with calm efficiency. As Ilara inspected the control center, a young officer approached. "Captain, we've detected multiple warships moving through the nearby nebula. Their patterns match Krylox's fleet signature. He's planning something, and it won't be small." Ilara's expression hardened. "Good. Then we'll be ready. Rin, prepare the defense protocols. We won't just respond, we'll predict, and we'll control the battlefield." The battle plans were unconventional. Unlike most aliens, humans did not rely solely on raw firepower. Instead, they used decoys, misdirection, and precise strikes to create maximum effect with minimum damage. It was the kind of strategy that left enemies confused, frustrated, and often defeated before the first shots were even fired. As the human fleet left Orvax Prime orbit, they entered the dense nebula, a field of swirling gas and asteroids. It was Krylox's chosen battleground, a place where he believed his fleet's advanced weapons would dominate. But humans saw opportunity in every challenge. "Captain," Rin said, "the nebula is full of blind spots and gravitational anomalies. It's perfect for a surprise counterattack." Ilara smiled faintly. "Exactly. Let's show them that humans see possibilities where others see danger." The alien fleet emerged from the nebula, expecting to strike quickly and decisively. But the human ships were already in motion, using the nebula's natural turbulence to hide their movements. Automated drones flitted through the clouds, creating illusions of ships that weren't there. Krylox's fleet fired at shadows, wasting energy and ammunition. The humans struck next, not with overwhelming power but with precision. Small squads of ships disabled key engines, disrupted communications, and outmaneuvered larger vessels. The aliens were forced into chaos, unsure of where the next human strike would come from. On the Resolute's bridge, Ilara remained calm. "Focus on coordination," she said. "Every move counts. Humans win not by force, but by intelligence and teamwork." By the time Krylox realized what was happening, half his fleet was immobilized, and the remaining ships were retreating. The humans did not destroy the enemy. They disabled them. Every move demonstrated control, mercy, and skill. Back at Orvax Prime, the colony's leaders watched in awe as the humans' strategy unfolded. "They didn't just defend, they taught a lesson," said Governor Laren. "These humans are unlike anything we've ever seen." Ilara knew that the battle was more than a military success. It was a message. Humans were not only survivors, they were thinkers, leaders, and problem solvers. The galaxy would remember this day, but Krylox was not one to accept defeat quietly. Far across the sector, he watched the battle unfold through holographic feeds. His face darkened with rage. "Humans! How dare they!" he hissed. They are cunning, smarter than I imagined, but I will not be humiliated. Prepare the next strike. This time we will end them." Meanwhile, the human fleet had returned to a safe orbit to assess the aftermath. Ilara and her officers studied the data carefully. The humans had minimized casualties while maximizing impact. Every crew member, every ship, had acted with precision and coordination. It was not luck. It was training, intelligence, and courage. Lieutenant Rin approached Ilara, his tone curious. "Captain, the other alien species, they are starting to notice. Some are reaching out with offers of alliance. Others are wary. I think Krylox underestimated us more than anyone." Ilara nodded. "Yes, and that is the advantage humans have. Others underestimate us, they overreach, and we turn their arrogance against them. But we must remain vigilant. Krylox is dangerous, and he will adapt. So must we." The next days were spent reinforcing defenses, sending messages of goodwill to neutral species, and quietly gathering intelligence. Humans had learned long ago that power was not just weapons, it was knowledge, trust, and perception. It was during this time that Ilara received an unexpected message from the Mirth representative, the wise and ancient alien who had observed the humans at Zetharian. "Captain Voss," the Mirth voice said through the communication link, "you are proving something that many feared to acknowledge. Humans are not to be dismissed. Your people show courage, wisdom, and restraint in equal measure. Be careful, however. Not all will accept this quietly." Ilara smiled. "Thank you. We will remain cautious, but we will not hide our strengths. Humans do not need to prove themselves through fear or aggression. They prove themselves through action and integrity." Rin glanced at the holographic star map. "Captain, there's movement near the Andara cluster. Krylox may be planning something bigger, something unexpected. Sensors indicate fleet activity and unusual energy readings." Ilara's expression hardened. "Then we move. Not blindly, but deliberately. We will meet him where he least expects us, and we will show him the cost of arrogance. Prepare the fleet. Humans do not retreat. They adapt and overcome." When the Resolute and its fleet arrived near the Andara cluster, they found a trap waiting. Krylox had constructed an artificial asteroid field, placing energy mines and cloaked ships in positions that seemed impossible to navigate. His plan was simple: lure humans into a confined space and strike decisively. But humans saw opportunity where others saw danger. Using nimble fighters and scout drones, they mapped the asteroid field in real time, detecting weak points and invisible hazards. Then, in a carefully coordinated maneuver, they used the mines against Krylox's ships, turning his trap into a tool for their strategy. Krylox watched in disbelief as his forces were outmaneuvered. "Impossible!" he shouted. "Humans should not be able to... How are they so..." "They are humans," Ilara said quietly to her officers. "They do not follow the predictable rules. They see chance where others see only risk." Within hours, the battle was over. Krylox's forces were forced to retreat once more, this time with heavy damage and a shaken morale. The humans did not celebrate. They had done what was necessary, and they had done it with precision. News of the victory spread quickly. Aliens across nearby systems began to respect humans in a way they had never done before. Minor species started sending emissaries to the Resolute, offering trade, alliances, and support. The humans had demonstrated that they were not just survivors, they were leaders. Ilara gathered her officers after the battle. "Today we've proven something," she said. "Not that humans are unbeatable, but that humans are clever, resourceful, and united. That is our true strength. Krylox and others may still oppose us, but they will learn. Humans are not to be underestimated." As night fell on Orvax Prime, the stars shone brightly over the human colony. Children gazed upward, imagining the humans who had defended them. Colonists whispered stories of courage, intelligence, and hope. And somewhere far away, Krylox seethed, plotting his next move. But humans did not fear him. They had faced danger before, and they would do so again. Each challenge only made them stronger, more united, and more admired. Across the galaxy, the ancient rule began to take hold once more in everyone's mind. Never provoke humans. Ilara looked at the stars, her mind already planning the next steps. The galaxy was vast, full of challenges and rivals, but humans had something no other species possessed: unity, courage, and the will to act wisely under pressure. And that was a power even the greatest fleets and the most cunning leaders could never predict. The humans had struck back not with rage, but with strategy. They had defended, adapted, and inspired, and as the galaxy watched, the story of humanity's rise was becoming impossible to ignore. The galaxy was changing. Where once humans were dismissed as insignificant, now their presence demanded attention. Stories of clever strategy, disciplined courage, and quick thinking traveled faster than light. But admiration often comes with envy, and enemies watched closely, plotting retaliation. Captain Ilara Voss sat in the Resolute's command room, studying star maps with her officers. The Andara cluster engagement had been a victory, but it had not defeated Krylox. Far from it. He was angry, determined, and unpredictable. "Captain," Lieutenant Rin said, pointing to a flickering holographic display, "we're receiving signals from rogue fleets near the Vexar corridor. Krylox may be coordinating them. He's trying to assemble allies for another strike." Ilara frowned. "So, he's learning. Good. Humans also learn. We will be ready, and we will turn his moves into our advantage." The humans' next mission was twofold: protect vulnerable colonies and continue building alliances. Every action had to demonstrate not only strength but integrity. Humans had a reputation to uphold, and Ilara knew that morality and courage could be as powerful as any weapon. Their first stop was the colony of Narathis, a world rich in rare resources but defenseless against larger fleets. Humans arrived quietly, repairing shields, establishing communication relays, and coordinating local defense teams. Unlike most species, humans did not impose themselves. They offered guidance, shared knowledge, and strengthened the colony. Colonists watched with wonder. "They don't just fight, they teach," said one Narathian engineer. "They make us better, not weaker." But not all were impressed. Krylox had sent his agents, observing humans from afar, noting every move. He hated their efficiency, their calmness under pressure, and their ability to turn disadvantages into victories. He plotted a trap, hoping to strike where humans were least prepared. Ilara, however, anticipated this. Humans excelled at reading patterns and adapting quickly. Every crew member on the Resolute understood the principle: predict, prepare, and act decisively. As humans left Narathis orbit, Rin reported, "Captain, sensor readings indicate an ambush ahead. Multiple ships hidden in the asteroid belt, likely Krylox." Ilara's expression remained calm. "Then we will turn the ambush into an opportunity. Inform the fleet, deploy drones, and use the belt to our advantage. Humans do not fall into traps, they reshape them." The ambush began as expected. Cloaked vessels struck from the shadows, firing energy pulses toward the human fleet. But humans were ready. Small reconnaissance drones darted through the asteroid field, reflecting signals and creating false targets. The enemy fired blindly, wasting energy and revealing their positions. Using the asteroid belt as cover, human fighters moved swiftly. They disabled engines, jammed communications, and forced Krylox's ships into disarray. Not one human ship was lost, and no civilian colonies were harmed. The battle was over in hours. On the Resolute's bridge, Ilara surveyed the aftermath. "Once again, humans have turned a challenge into a triumph," she said. Strength alone does not win battles. Intelligence, creativity, and teamwork win them. Rin smiled. It's like they always underestimate us, and we use it against them. Humans' victories did more than secure colonies. They reshaped the galaxy's perception. Species that had once ignored humans now approached cautiously. Some sought alliances, others observed warily, reluctant to challenge a race that had proven time and again that it was clever, resilient, and adaptable. Krylox, meanwhile, seethed. Each failure was a blow to his pride. Humans, they defy expectation, he growled. They are not to be crushed, not yet. I need more power. I need the advantage. He convened his allies, rogue species that had grievances against humans, and forged a plan to corner them. He aimed not just for military victory, but to destroy humans' reputation by making them appear weak in front of the galaxy. But humans were never weak. Ilara knew Krylox would escalate, and she prepared for the coming challenge. The humans' strength lay not only in their ships or weapons, but in their ability to anticipate and adapt. They had turned every disadvantage into a chance, and that skill would be tested again. The next encounter occurred near the Shattered Moons, a system fragmented by ancient conflicts. Krylox had set a trap, hiding his fleet among the debris, confident humans would stumble. But humans moved deliberately, mapping every debris field, predicting gravitational shifts, and using small scout vessels to test every path. As Krylox's fleet engaged, expecting an easy victory, the humans struck. Their attacks were coordinated, precise, and unpredictable. Ships disabled engines, energy pulses were redirected against attackers, and mines were deployed with tactical accuracy. Humans fought with purpose, not recklessness. One by one, Krylox's ships were neutralized or forced into retreat. His plan had failed again, and the pattern was clear. Humans adapted faster than he could anticipate. During the battle, a Myrthian observer communicated with Ilara. Captain Voss, your people are remarkable. They embody courage, strategy, and fairness. Many are beginning to see the truth. Humans are a force to be respected. Ilara replied, Thank you. Humans do not seek conflict for pride or conquest. We defend, we teach, and we inspire. That is what makes us strong. The Shattered Moons battle became a turning point. Neutral species who had been hesitant now approached humans for protection and partnership. Small trade alliances were formed, information networks expanded, and colonies felt safer under human guidance. Krylox, however, refused to concede. He realized that brute force alone could not defeat humans. Instead, he attempted psychological tactics, sending misinformation, trying to divide humans from their allies. But humans were united. Their loyalty, courage, and shared purpose were as powerful as any weapon. Ilara addressed her officers. Krylox will try deception, intimidation, and manipulation. Humans have survived countless threats because we do not rely on fear. We rely on unity, intelligence, and perseverance. Remember this: every challenge is an opportunity. Every danger is a test of our character. Even as they celebrated small victories, humans knew the greatest challenge was yet to come. Krylox's determination had only grown. His failures fueled his ambition, and he would seek to strike where humans were least prepared. And yet, humans had an advantage no alien could match. Where others relied on arrogance, humans relied on adaptability. Where others counted numbers, humans counted ideas. Where others expected submission, humans offered respect and earned loyalty in return. The galaxy began to see a new pattern. Humans were rising, not through aggression, but through cleverness, strategy, and morality. And Krylox's anger only strengthened humans' resolve. Ilara walked the deck of the Resolute at night, staring at the stars. We have shown the galaxy what humans can do, she said softly. "But this is just the beginning. There will be more challenges, more enemies, more tests, and humans will rise to them all." A crew member approached. "Captain, intelligence reports suggest Krylox is gathering more allies. This time he may try something unprecedented." Alara's eyes narrowed. "Then we will prepare for the unprecedented. Humans do not fear unknown threats. We learn, adapt, and act. That is how we survive, and that is how we lead." The stars stretched endlessly ahead, filled with danger, opportunity, and mystery. Humans would face them all, together, with courage and intelligence. And the galaxy would continue to learn the same lesson it had learned from the beginning. Humans were not to be underestimated. Krylox's anger burned across the sector. But humans did not flinch. They had defended colonies, outsmarted fleets, and inspired allies. Each victory strengthened their reputation and spread their influence further. The galaxy was watching, and humans were proving that leadership came not from fear, but from courage, cleverness, and integrity. Ilara returned to her command chair, her mind already planning the next moves. The galaxy might try to challenge humans again, but she knew this truth. Humans thrived not in predictability, but in unpredictability, and that was a power no enemy could match. The rising tension of Krylox's schemes only made the humans sharper. Every challenge was a lesson, every obstacle a chance to prove themselves. The galaxy would not soon forget the actions of Captain Ilara Voss and her crew. And somewhere far across the stars, Krylox seethed, realizing that the humans were no longer a minor annoyance. They were a force, united and unstoppable in ways he could barely predict. The ancient rule remained, never provoke humans. But Krylox had already broken it. And now he would face the consequences. The galaxy waited, tense and uncertain, as humans prepared for the battles and diplomacy to come. Every system, every colony, every alien species would soon understand the truth. Humans were clever, brave, and unpredictable. And that was a truth that no enemy could ignore. The galaxy held its breath. News of humans' victories had spread like wildfire, inspiring admiration, fear, and envy in equal measure. Every species had learned one lesson. Humans were not to be underestimated. Yet Krylox still refused to accept it. Captain Ilara Voss stood on the bridge of the Resolute, her eyes scanning the holographic star map. Ahead lay the Vexar Nebula, a dangerous stretch of space, thick with ion storms, gravitational anomalies, and floating debris. It was Krylox's chosen battlefield. He intended to strike decisively, believing that humans, no matter how clever, could be cornered here. "We know his plan," Rin said, pointing to clusters of ships hiding in the nebula's shadows. "He wants to trap us, strike hard, and humiliate humans in front of the galaxy." Ilara's expression was calm. "Then he will fail. Humans do not panic. Humans adapt. Prepare the fleet, every ship, every crew member. Today, we show Krylox and the galaxy what humans truly are." The human fleet moved as one, a combination of experience, intelligence, and discipline. Unlike Krylox's forces, which relied on overwhelming firepower, humans relied on strategy, coordination, and ingenuity. Each move had a purpose, each ship a role. As the fleets neared the nebula, Krylox unleashed his ambush. Energy pulses lit up the clouds, illuminating the swirling debris. Ships darted, fired, and maneuvered with precision. Krylox believed humans would scatter or falter, but humans never scattered. They executed their plan flawlessly. Small human squads used the nebula's turbulence to hide movements, creating decoys and false targets. The enemy fleet wasted energy firing at shadows, while the Resolute coordinated targeted strikes. Krylox's ships were disabled one by one, caught in traps designed to exploit their overconfidence. On the Resolute's bridge, Ilara gave her orders with calm authority. Strike at the exposed engines. Use the mines to block their retreat. Remember, humans win not by destruction alone, but by intelligence and precision. The battle raged for hours, but the outcome became clear. Humans had anticipated every move, adapted to every threat, and coordinated attacks with perfect timing. Krylox's fleet, though technologically superior in some ways, was outsmarted at every turn. Meanwhile, neutral observers in nearby systems watched in awe. Humans did not humiliate or destroy unnecessarily. They acted decisively, but with fairness, mercy, and strategy. The galaxy began to understand why the ancient rule had existed for so long. Humans were unpredictable, clever, and formidable. Krylox's frustration grew. His anger clouded his judgment. "Impossible!" he shouted through the comm channel. How can humans outmaneuver us so easily?" Ilara responded calmly, her voice carrying across the channel. "It is simple. Humans observe, learn, and adapt. Strength alone does not win battles, Krylox. Intelligence, courage, and unity do. Today, you see the result." Krylox's forces faltered. Ships retreated in confusion, energy levels depleted, and morale shattered. For the first time, Krylox realized that humans were more than just a challenge. They were a force that could not be broken by arrogance alone. Ilara did not celebrate. Victory was measured not in destruction, but in strategy, protection, and the preservation of life. The human fleet regrouped, rescuing disabled ships and helping injured crews, earning further admiration from neutral species. As the battle ended, humans secured control of the Vexar Nebula. Krylox's retreat sent a clear message across the galaxy. Humans were clever, disciplined, and united. The legend of their unpredictability was now proven. Back on the Resolute, Ilara addressed her crew. "Today, humans have shown the galaxy something important. Not that we are invincible, but that we are intelligent, adaptable, and courageous. That is our greatest strength. Remember this: every action we take shapes how others see us and how they respect us." The Murthian observer sent a message through the comm link. "Captain Voss, humans have exceeded expectations. Your people embody courage, strategy, and fairness. Many species are now seeking your guidance and alliance. The galaxy is taking notice." Ilara nodded. "We will guide through example, not through fear. Humans lead not by intimidation, but by action, intelligence, and integrity. That is the future we will build." With Krylox defeated and the fleet regrouped, humans moved to secure diplomatic channels. Aliens who had once doubted them now approached with requests for trade, alliances, and mutual protection. Humans had turned victories into opportunities for unity and peace. Ilara knew that true strength was not in dominating others, but in inspiring respect. "Strength without wisdom is chaos," she said to her officers. "Humans do not seek conquest. We protect, we teach, and we lead. That is why we endure and why we rise." Krylox, isolated and humiliated, retreated to his homeworld, vowing silently that humans would one day regret their triumph. But for now, his fleets were shattered, his pride wounded, and his plans thwarted. Across the galaxy, species who had once ignored humans now extended hands of partnership. Colonies flourished under human guidance, trade networks expanded, and intelligence sharing created bonds that were stronger than any fleet alone could achieve. Ilara walked the deck of the Resolute, gazing at the stars. "The galaxy has begun to understand," she said softly. "Humans are not to be underestimated, and those who try will learn the consequences, not through destruction alone, but through cleverness, courage, and unity." A young officer approached. "Captain, many species are sending messages of alliance. They want to learn from humans, protect their colonies, and work together. The galaxy is shifting. Ilara smiled. Yes, and that shift is not just about power. It is about trust, intelligence, and action. Humans do not force others to follow. We earn it. That is our strength. As the Resolute departed the Vexar Nebula, the stars stretched endlessly ahead. Unknown challenges awaited, but humans were ready. They had defended colonies, outsmarted fleets, and inspired respect. The galaxy now understood a simple truth. Humans were clever, brave, and unpredictable. And for Krylox and others who underestimated them, that truth would never be forgotten. In the council halls across the galaxy, whispers spread, "Never provoke humans. They do not act as others expect. They are clever, strong, and united." Ilara stood on the bridge, her gaze firm. This is only the beginning. Humans will continue to rise, not through fear, but through intelligence, courage, and morality. The galaxy may challenge us again, but we are ready. And we will always adapt. The stars shone like jewels above human colonies, a reminder that the universe was vast and full of possibilities. Humans had survived impossible odds, faced enemies who underestimated them, and emerged stronger each time. Across the galaxy, Krylox seethed in silence, but humans did not fear him. Every challenge had made them sharper, wiser, and more united. The ancient rule endured, stronger than ever. Never anger humans. Humans had proven themselves not by destruction or intimidation, but by courage, intelligence, and unity. And as the Resolute sailed onward, leading fleets of allies, Ilara knew that humanity's place in the galaxy was secured, not through domination, but through example. The galaxy had learned the truth. Humans were above all, not in arrogance, but in skill, wisdom, and heart. And the story of humanity's rise would be remembered for generations.